Hi, Bev.
Hi, David.
Josien.
Hello, David.
We've been having a discussion about what's worked, what hasn't worked, lesson learned, what we do next time. Do you want to give us a little rundown of what we've got up here?
We were just actually categorizing stuff. We brainstormed some of the things from today, and like one important category that came out was team and how we're working together as a team, which is actually really important. Some of the things that we were talking about is like having somebody in the team who knows the field, who knows the context, and has contacts and knows people here. That within our team we've worked well because we know a bit of everything. We know how to interview, we know how to do the technology, and I've worked with you in one event before doing social reporting, another one with Josien, and that really contributed to what we're doing. We also were talking about having 3 people in the team. That worked well this time because it meant that while 2 people were finishing off, which became an important aspect, another person could be out doing stuff. And so the finishing off, we were able to do that because we had 3 in a team rather than just 2.
Because one of the things we were talking about here, I don't know where it is now, all right? Okay, we were talking here about how good it is if you've got people who are all-rounders being able to shoot some video, do a blog post, bring it back, edit it, upload it, put the categories in and so forth, rather than having somebody at a news desk inundated with a lot of video. And I think that's important because you get a better rounded set of pieces. But how was that working?
No, that's very true. Bev and I worked at another event, and because our team consisted of people who were new to the technology, we asked them just to capture stuff, and we would be the kind of uploading hub. So that really meant being inundated with stuff. On the other hand, it really matters what kind of event you have. In the other event, we wanted to engage the community, build the community, strengthen the feeling of the community. So that was suitable for that event. And in this event, which is more showcasing, it worked really well to be with the all-rounders that you mentioned. Another thing that was especially good in this during this event was having the other team around. There's another team here who have been hired to really capture the important speakers, important projects. So that's off our list. We don't have to do it any longer.
You mean the formal stuff?
The formal reporting.
We can still go for the important people, but it's
definitely. But we have the freedom to do whatever we like, which is excellent.
And David, we were also talking about the technology and the tools that we had,
Sure.
and the space that we've got here to work in.
Sure. Let me come to that, but just to reconfirm what Josien was saying, I think about purpose and style of the event, it just keeps coming back that you need to be clear about what you're trying to do, whether it's capture stuff or stimulate conversations. And
are you documenting or opening conversations, or trying to attract more people, or just engage the existing visitors?
And it seems to me it's important to agree that with the organisers, who may be, not in this case, but in other circumstances, a little bit fuzzy about that themselves. It's what one should always think about in organising an event, and I think social reporting kind of highlights that, because it's quite difficult to go against the grain of the event if it's a formal event and you're trying to capture bits of chatty conversation. So people aren't up for it because they're not in that environment. Coming back to the technology, I think it's been fantastic that we had this space here, which you can have a look around with. There's Richard's big cameras there, which have
Richard?
sat quite happily with our
And
small ones.
It's all covered up now, but there's coffee and tea and biscuits all day for us there, which was excellent.
And we had pretty good connectivity for Wi-Fi.
And this was basically our little booth.
and we added, don't know if you see it, if you come around this side, there is Wi-Fi here and there is a cable, but we added a little Airport Express to give ourselves our own little wireless network, and that seemed quite useful.
We had a range of cameras.
And we had a range of cameras. We had flips like the one that you're using at the moment. We had other stills and movie cameras.
We had this one.
We had a bigger Sanyo Exacti with an external mic on it, and a monopod. And we had the computer doing video boo. And what worked fantastically well was when we figured out to put this here. It's great for somebody to come across and stand here and do a little interview on their own or something shoulder to shoulder with you. It means you can also have the computer doing uploading at the same time. So this was a great spot for static video boom interviews.
Yes, you can't really see it, but this is like the entrance to our little centre. We're right in the centre of the venue, and there behind that was our space. So we're both open, but also with our own little private space. And there you can see Josien standing near the booth, which was just at height level, and that was absolutely perfect because people passed by to drop in or to say hello, and it was very easy to say, oh look, here, have a little word into the computer, and people could interview themselves on video booth.
What I found fascinating about that is the different dynamics that you open up when you are there together, asking questions, or when you, like David did, leave people to speak to the computer and speak to the video booth, and they would really go in a different kind of thinking and not being put on specific questions, but really getting their own message out, which for some people worked really well, I think.
I think that's really interesting. That the great thing about the video booth is that it puts the person who's making the contribution in control of it. They type their own name in, they say go, they can see themselves while it's being recorded, they can review it. If they don't like it, they can discard it and do it again. And as somebody said to me, that's really different from having a camera put in your face, because you don't know what's going on, you don't know what the person's actually going to do with it. So that's great, but it's not the right thing, obviously, for all occasions. And if you're doing some video of a platform presentation, this is really good because it's got a good zoom on it. The external mic will pick up the sound better. You can steady it with this monopod. It's high quality for that. But at the same time, if you're going off to catch somebody before they dash off or they've just been doing a session, then one of these flips is really fantastic. It's not intrusive and it works really, really well. Or you can just use your own camera.
So is there anything else on the list that we haven't mentioned?
Oh yes, something very important, that there is this tendency to focus on video. Well, actually, text and photos are just as nice to read and to look at. So.
And also something you did really well today, or something and yesterday, was putting a decent text and summary with each video.
Yes.
That takes time, and it's easy to forget it. But actually, that's really important because sometimes the video doesn't load, people don't want to look at it, and being able to flick through the text is great.
That throws up the little tension that if, on the one hand, you want to do your own pieces, do the video or the photograph, do the text, upload it, craft the piece well, that ties you up for a period of time. So you can't at that time be wandering about or listening into what's going on. So if you do too much of that, you lose touch with the event. And again, I think that's why it's so important to have 3 different people, so you can cover for each other. We were talking a bit about planning, really, and on the one hand it's great to have a plan of people you really want to interview, things you really want to cover, but at the same time you have to be a bit responsive, and I think that was another reason it was great to have Richard and the other team with a really good plan of who they wanted to interview, and left us a bit more flexible. But it may be some people like being planned and some people like being flexible. Are you a planned person or a kind of